Hello? Oh my God. Thank God. Anyway, so that was just me fucking rambling, by the way. So you didn't miss anything, but. Yo, you guys were listening to nothing for that whole time. All right. So. All right. So basically, what I said was every single year, and I've said this several times over the last couple of weeks, but every single year, I'm like, around this time, I'm like, all right, next year, just focus on the NBA. Don't put your money into March Madness. Just do the show, do the YouTube stuff, enjoy it, have some fun, but don't put your money into it. And then every single year, I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, March Madness, I'm going to be smart this year. I don't know why I keep doing it. What the hell's wrong with me? It's like a sickness. I keep getting crushed in March Madness. This weekend should have been fine because NBA, I mean, I think I would have been slightly down in the NBA this weekend. I got reverse swept, and then the next day I went 0-4, and then the next day I went 4-0, and then I went 2-2, and then last night I only bet 2 games, but I bet Oklahoma City a little bit heavier, so I would have lost a few dollars. But as a whole, I shouldn't be hurting at all right now based on the NBA. Did you guys can hear me now, right? Yeah, it sounds like you guys can hear me now. You had South Dakota State first round. Yeah, but a 15 seed had beaten a 2 seed in 3 straight years. So I figured 15 seed was going to win. Man, the last couple of years, 2 seeds have been getting beat. And every single year, if you said that team was going to win, you would have been like, all right. So, by the way, what we're doing here today it's brand new. I've never done it before. I tested it out last night in the Discord, and it seemed to go all right. So, apologies if this is like a little bit like wonky. The jumping between windows. So I have my windows here where I can jump from injuries to trends to schedules to spreadsheets. Oh, and also I have my trend finder here, which I'll show you guys is pretty sweet. So you guys in yeah. All right, so first up, let's go to. All right, so we're going to start with the first game, which is Charlotte at Cleveland. So let's get Charlotte at Cleveland up here. Let's get Charlotte down here. We'll go for Hornets. And I don't know. I'm a weirdo. I need the colors to be correct. It's an OCD thing. So at Hornets. Hornets at Cavs. Let's clear the board here. All right. So in the bottom left where it says angles, that's when we're going to put something when we find something we like. Like, for example, Cleveland Hornets on a back-to-back. That would go on the Cleveland side. Well, I'll show you. You'll pick it up pretty quickly. Because that's how I handicap. I try to make it's almost like preparing a legal a court case, a legal deposition where each side you want to find plausible, logical reasons for a bet on that side, and you line them up. And it's important when you bet to recognize the value on the other side too, which not a lot of people do. People are like, "Oh, this side, how could it lose?" Well, you should look into find out how it could lose first. And maybe if you actually put some work into finding the angles for the other side, you would find out that the bet's not as valuable. So first 4 steps. Step 1, injuries. That's what I start with. Injuries in this one. Charlotte, Cleveland. On the Charlotte side, same names here. Seth Curry, LaMelo Ball, Martin, McGowan, Mark Williams. These guys have been out. This is not new. So it looks like Charlotte's trotting out the same lineup they have been. Good news on the Cleveland side. This is RotoWire, by the way, if you're wondering what website this is. And gray in RotoWire means game time decision. So it looks like Dean Wade and Max Strus could be possibly returning. So that's good news for Cleveland, a team that relies a lot on three-point shooting, getting 2 of their shooters back. So, yeah, I mean, still no Donovan Mitchell, but it's something if you're a Cavs fan. So you know what? I'm going to put that on the Cleveland side. Strus, Wade, possibly back. All right. So we looked at injuries. Let's go to trends. We're going to look at Cavs ATS since March 1st. All right, Cleveland has not been covering. Loss. So Cleveland's 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. Not good. But let's look at Cavs ATS at home since March 1st. Loss. So they're 3-3 against the spread in their last 6 at home. So the Cavs are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5, but they're 3-3 at home. So it's really on the road a little more. Let's look at the Hornets side. Since March 1st, and my mouse just fell. Come on now. And my camera's moving around. Stop. There we go. Okay. So, Hornets ATS here. Yeah, a lot of losses. Hornets 2-7 in their last 9 against the spread. So, 4 losses in a row. So, on the Cavs side, we'll go Hornets 2-7 ATS last 9. So, Hornets ice cold goes on the Cavs side. All right. Oh, you know what? Let's look at Hornets on the road just to make sure. Since February 15th. Hornets on the road, 1-5 against the spread in their last 6. So, also bad. Next up, let's look at the spot. That's step 3, is the spot. So, first of all, either of these teams play last night? Yes. Cleveland is on a back-to-back. They got killed in Miami. So, first, now we have to look at Cleveland's, how they've done on 0 days rest. So we go 0 days rest. Cleveland on 0 days rest. 4-7-1 against the spread. All right, so that's on the Hornet side. Cavs, 0 days rest. 4-7-1 ATS. There you go. So there's an angle for the Hornets. Cavs on 0 days rest. So someone said in the comment, this is why I had the comments up. So starters were benched at half. And that makes sense. Let's take a look in the minutes there. I didn't watch a minute of that game. Oh, yeah. Mobley, 21 minutes. Okoro, 19 minutes. Jared Allen. Yeah, so I don't even know. We'll put it up there on the Hornets side because the Cavs are on 0 days rest. And they did travel, too. But as a whole, I don't know if that's going to swing us either way. So we got... Now let's go to the spreadsheet. All right. So, obviously... Well, actually, not so obvious. If you go by... Let's go down here. It's easier to read down here. So, let's go last 10 games. These net efficiency numbers. 28th for the Hornets, 24th for the Cavs. So, if you look, you might be like, hey, these two teams are pretty close. But the thing is, they're not. Look at strength of schedule. 5th to 29th. So, maybe on paper, raw data... The Cavs and Hornets are pretty close in the last 10 games, but the Cavs are putting up those numbers, and it's a significantly stronger schedule. You have strength of schedule right here. So Cavs are 27th in pace in the last 10 games. Cleveland running a very slow pace. So what we want to do is go find, 1 second. Let's see if I can get these up quick. Hornets, do I have the Hornets up? I need to find the Hornets record against... Damn it, I don't think I have the Hornets one up. Let's see if I can find it here. I don't think I have trends added to this one yet. So Charlotte... Yeah, I don't have the pace up for Charlotte yet. That'll be up tomorrow. What happened was I have all these individual things, and I'm compiling them. So I'll open up the Cavs one to show you. So here's Cavs. So I have the Cavs ATS record against all different types of teams. So here's the Cavs against top 5 offenses. Cavs against top 10 offenses, 13-10 against the spread. Against bottom 5, against bottom 10, against off. So I'm compiling them all into one. Just haven't gotten that one added yet. That'll be added tonight. Sorry about that. So I would like to see what the Hornets record is against the number against slow-paced teams. That's what I would like to see. But unfortunately, I don't have that up right now. Anyway, so let's move on. So we got Hornets fouling a lot on the full season, 30th Hornets don't get to the free throw line. Hornets do not get to the free throw line. And let's go back down here where it's easier to read. So you can see right here, Hornets offense, 28th in free throw rate in the last 10 games. So they're not getting to the foul line at all. Let's see how Cleveland's done against those teams. Let's put Cleveland up here. Wait for it to load. There we go. All right, so Cleveland against bottom 5 free throw rate. There you go. Cleveland against bottom 5, 6-5 against the spread. So really nothing there. Oh, you guys can't see that one sec. So what I did was I went down to offensive free throw rate here and bottom 5. So I wanted Cleveland's ATS record because you'll find angles like that. Sometimes like the Lakers against teams that don't get to the foul line are like 11-1 against the spread. So, but we didn't really find anything here. Just 6-5. So really nothing there. So let's go back to our sheets. Obviously, we know Cleveland's defense has the edge across the board here. The Hornets offense is one of the worst units in the NBA. But let's see where they're taking shots from. Yeah, a lot of jump shooting. That's been the Hornets' MO for about a month now. I'll put a poll up. I'm sorry, guys. This is new for me, so sorry about that. Good thinking, by the way. Thank you for reminding me. Because when doing the other show, I have it down to a routine. And because I don't have a routine for this yet, I'm like fumbling around with my windows. I'm forgetting to do dumb shit. All right, there you go. So polls up. We'll get a consensus what the viewers are feeling. All right, so as we know, Hornets have been taking a lot of jump shots, and that's been the case with them for a month and a half. They've been pretty much, they kind of look like the Brooklyn Nets, a slightly worse version. Cleveland, not the best defensive numbers against the long mid-range and above the break 3. I mean, maybe there's a path. I mean, I'll put it down, but this is really thin. Cleveland, struggle versus jump shooters. It's something. I mean, at the end, when you look at the final thing at the end, that's when you like really can determine. And even if it's like a thin angle, you might add it. Maybe at the end, it's the final factor that just pushes you onto a bet. So we'll add it, even though both things on the Hornets side so far are super thin, because the Cavs on 0 days rest, as someone said in the comments, they rested their starters in the second half. And this jump shooters thing, okay, yeah, Cleveland struggles to defend the jump shooters, but look, the Hornets don't hit their shots. They take a lot of them. They don't really hit them. So it's thin. It's thin. But we'll keep going. Let's look at numbers in transition, and that's up here. So we're on Hornets offense. Oh, yeah. Fast break is not going to be there for the Hornets. And you know what? Let's try to find a trend with that. So let's go here. Bam, bam. I do have the Cavs one set up. So I want to see the Cavs against teams that don't run fast breaks. Fast break efficiency, transition, frequency. Okay. Cavs are 6-4 against the teams in bottom 5 in fast break frequency. I mean, that's not really enough to call it an angle, so I'm not going to add it to the list. But against teams that don't run fast break, Cavs are hitting at 60%. Something. But yeah, let's go back to our spreadsheets. All right, so I think we've looked at enough for the Hornets offense. It's going to be tough sledding here on the road in Cleveland. I would say final consensus on the Hornets offense, they're going to get looks as far as jump shots, but I don't know if you can rely on the Hornets consistently hitting their shots because they haven't been. So they're going to get looks because teams are hitting jump shots in Cleveland, but I don't know about that. On the other side, Cavs offense against the Hornets defense. Now, the Hornets have been playing some defense. So this is where maybe if you're trying to take the points with Charlotte, you could probably find some things here. First off, look at turnovers. And I know this is 10-game sample size, but the Hornets have been ripping turnovers. That's longer than 10 games. They've been doing that for 15, 20 games now. The Hornets can definitely force some turnovers. So let's see the Cavs against defenses that can force turnovers. This is Cleveland's trends against defensive turnover rate. Here you go. Hornets have been forcing turnovers. Cavs against top 5 defenses and forcing turnovers, just 4-8 against the spread. So that goes on the Hornets side. Cleveland 4-8 against the spread versus top 5 defensive turnovers. And the Hornets are 4th in the last 10 games. And like I said, it's been going on longer than that. So that's actually a nice angle. That's the first angle on the Hornets side that I actually think is solid. But let's keep going. So here's the thing, though. The Hornets, 12th in defensive free throw rate, Cleveland 5th. So the Cavs have been getting to the foul line in the last 10 games. So that's going to be interesting to see who's getting the calls. Big one right here. The Hornets money line, it is, someone said. All right, I've seen enough. Hornets money line. No. Let's keep looking, man. So Cleveland takes a lot of their shots at the basket. In the last 10 games, 29% of the Cavs shot attempts come at the rim. That's 11th, so it's a part of their offense, not huge. Charlotte can't protect the rim. So that's solid for Cleveland right there. Let's put that on the list, actually. Charlotte can't protect rim. All right. And now here's where this is another angle for the Hornets, though. And I knew we were going to see this before we even started in this matchup right here. So Cleveland takes a ton of above the break threes. And if Dean Wade and Max Strus return to the lineup, the number is going to get even higher. Look at this. 34% of the Cavs shot attempts in the last 10 games come from above the break. So the Cavs are launching these perimeter threes. Look at the Hornets. They're allowing opponents to shoot just 31.3% from out there. So that's a really nice angle for the Hornets. The Cavs take most of their shots from the Hornets' strongest defensive zone. So that's definitely for the Hornets. So lockdown above the break three defense, Cleveland's second in frequency. And you know what? Let's look how the Cavs have done against elite three-point defenses. So rim efficiency, mid-range efficiency, three-point. Okay, so Cleveland on the season against top 5 three-point defenses, 5 and 6 against the spread. So that's not enough to call it an angle, but it is below 500. So it's something. And you can see Cleveland against bottom 5 three-point defenses, 7-4-1 against the spread. So I actually like that for the Hornets. Now, is that enough to make me bet Charlotte? Probably not, but it's something. Let's look at the numbers in transition for Cleveland offensively right here. Yeah, I can't imagine we're going to see many fast breaks from the Cavs here because the Hornets actually do a decent job at limiting fast breaks. They're 9th in frequency. Cleveland 20th in frequency. So maybe when the Cavs get out in transition, they should be able to score, but I don't know if the Hornets are going to let them get out. Overall, I mean, this is pretty solid here for the Hornets. Let's look at our final list here. We got one last thing I want to look at is, and this might be a little harder to see. So I just handicapped the game using numbers from the last 10. Before I make a final decision, I like to look at the numbers from the last 10 in comparison to the last 5 in the last season, which is what I have here. This might be a little tough to see. So this column is full season. This column is last 10. This column is last 5. And it's the same thing on this side. Last 5, last 10. So basically, we just use the middle column to do everything. So basically, I just want to look and make sure that the numbers make sense. You can see, like, these look pretty uniform. The last 10, full season. So that's fine. Cavs defense was playing on a full season scale a lot better. They definitely have not been as good recently. No, nothing there. Above the break 3 defense for Cleveland. No, nothing there. On the other side, Yeah, these two teams are pretty much staying on brand recently. There's not much. I mean, other than Cleveland's playing worse than they were earlier in the season, other than that, there's not really any. Sometimes you'll find that, like, a team's attacking the rim and they're third in frequency, but on the season, they're like 24. So sometimes teams, like, switch their style up. Oh, here we go, actually. Cleveland's offense. In the last 10 games, 11th in. Oh, okay, so this was probably something we should have factored in. This is perfect. This is a perfect example to show you what I'm talking about. So in the last 10 games that we just used to handicap this game, Cleveland 11th in frequency at the rim, 29%. But look at the last 5 games, just 24%, back at 24th. So Cleveland relying a lot more on jump shots recently, which actually plays into the strength of the Hornets defense. As we covered, look at the Hornets defense against jump shots. 11th, 3rd, 12th, 2nd, 14th against these jump shots right here. So actually makes me like the Hornets a little more, honestly. Now, if we look at our final list here in the bottom left, so we got the Cavs on 0 days rest, and they're 4-7-1 against the spread on 0 days rest, but they didn't play a ton of minutes. That's on the Hornets side. Cleveland struggles to defend jump shooters. The Hornets take a lot of jump shots. Cleveland 4-8 against the spread against top 5 defenses and forcing turnovers. That's the Hornets. And the Hornets play lockdown defense on the perimeter. When I say lockdown, I mean by Hornet standards, but they really do play great defense against a three-point shot. There's a couple good angles there for the Hornets. Now, on the Cavs side, maybe you get Strus and Wade back. Hornets are 2-7 against the spread in their last 9, and Charlotte can't protect the basket. But we just covered that Cleveland hasn't been attacking the rim. So I'm going Hornets or pass here. That's my consensus. So we'll on to the next game. All right, who's up next? Next up, we got Nets Raptors. So let's go. Brooklyn, Toronto. Nets. Raptors. Let's clear the board here. All right. So, yeah, Larry, exactly. Cleveland has nobody without Mitchell. Yo, my mouse keeps freaking falling. What the hell? Without Mitchell, yeah, who's attacking the rim for Cleveland? 100%. All right. Brooklyn, Toronto. So, what do we look at first? First, we go to injuries. Brooklyn, Toronto. Here we go. All right, so it looks like Toronto's still resting. Resting. They should pretty much shut a lot of these guys down for the season. Nets, no Cam Johnson, no Dennis Smith. Raps resting the same guy. So what we're going to do for the Raptors, we're going to use numbers from the last 5 games. So I don't have to add these as an angle for the Nets. I'm not even going to write it down because we're using stats from games without them anyway. So actually, on the Raptors side, no Cam Johnson for BKN. Cam Johnson's one of the Nets' more important pieces, so that's significant. Let's look at some trends. We got Nets ATS since March 1st. All right, Nets. Oh, my God. Wow, there's a lot of ends here. So we got it's 2-7. Nets are 2-7 against the spread in their last 9. It's another angle for the Raptors. I'm sorry, 2-7 ATS last 9. But don't worry, there's going to be one on the other side for the Raptors that looks pretty similar. Let's look at Nets on the road. Nets ATS on the road. 2-6 on the road. Let's bring it back a little bit further. February 15th. 3-9 against the spread on the road too. BKN 3-9 against the spread last 12 road. Good start for the Raptors, but we're about to look at the Raptors trends, and that's where it gets ugly. Raptors ATS since March 1. Raptors 3-9 against the spread in their last 12. Well, hold on. Yeah, 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 too. So we gotta write the same thing. 3-9. Toronto 3-9 ATS last 12, and then let's look at the Raptors at home. Raptors ATS at home since March 1st. 0-6. Let's look at February 15th. All right, there we go. So they're 0-7. The Raptors have failed to cover in 7 straight home games. 0-7 ATS last 7 home. So this is a really ugly start to this game. Good Lord. Oh, yeah, I got to get the poll up. So, the last game looked like it was pretty even, actually. 40%, 37% in favor of Cleveland. So there was a lot of people that were clicking Charlotte there. So we got... Oh, I got to go next game here, too. My bad, guys. There we go. So Nets, Raptors. Nets minus 6.5. Raptors plus 6.5 pass. Let's get that poll running. Okay. Let's go back. All right. Yeah, so we got the trends down. Next, let's look at the spot for both teams. Brooklyn, Toronto. Neither of these teams played last night. Brooklyn, Toronto. Neither of them play tomorrow. Brooklyn. Yeah, both of these teams play. They're not on a back-to-back, and their next game isn't until Wednesday. So it's a one-day rest spot for either team. Well, actually, let's see the last time they played. It might have been more rest. Yeah, both on a one-day rest spot, so no advantage either way for the spot. Let's go to spreadsheets. Here we go. All right, so right off the bat, we got the Nets are running a slow pace. Well, let's start with some overall net efficiency numbers here. Let's go to the last 10. That's where I like to start. So despite both these teams being trash, obviously we know the Nets have been slightly better than the Raptors. The Raptors are dead last in efficiency, minus 15.5. So per every 100 possessions, the Raptors are allowing 15.5 less points than their opponents. That's just garbage, man. That is really bad. That's really ugly. Yeah, so a tough spot. But strength of schedule, I guess you could say Toronto's played the slightly stronger schedule, but really not really. I mean, the Nets haven't been good, and we're talking about laying 6.5 points on the road. So, like, there's some serious shit going on here. Let's see if I have the Nets. I don't remember doing the Nets. The Nets. Yeah, I do have the Nets. Okay. So, what I wanted to look at is the Nets versus top 5 in pace, because that's something the Raptors do run is pace. Oh, man, look at that. Brooklyn, 8-2 against the spread against the top 5 in pace. Let's go. Nets, 8-2 ATS versus top 5 pace. I'm putting asterisks next to that one. That's a solid. So the Nets have been hitting against these teams that run fast pace. Toronto's second in pace in the NBA. That's a good start for Brooklyn there. Now let's also look at the Nets versus teams that run the fast break, because there's a difference between fast break and pace. You could not be running fast break and still be running a fast pace. And Brooklyn, 6-3 against the spread, against the top 5 in fast break frequency. Another thing Toronto is. So, good start for the Nets here. Nets, 6-3 against the spread versus top 5 transition frequency. Or, I'll just put fast break frequency. Good start for Brooklyn. All right. Nets it is, someone said. No, let's chill. Let's keep looking here. We're talking about laying 6.5 points on the road with a bad team. So we better be freaking sure, before we pull the trigger. Laying 6.5 points on the road is hard to do with a good team, let alone a bad team. So let's make sure. All right, so let's keep it going. Also, you know what we should look at? We should look at the Nets versus bottom 5 offenses and bottom 5 defenses while we have this open. The Nets against bottom 5 offenses, just 5-8 against the spread, so that's not great. The Nets against bottom 5 defenses, 9-6 against the spread. So we're not even going to write those down. It kind of cancels out. The Nets have been better against the number against bad defenses than they have been against bad offenses. The good news is the Raptors are both, so it doesn't even matter. Let's keep it moving here. All right, so here we go. We'll start with the Nets offense. Defensive rebounding for the Raptors. Let's see if the Nets have so the Nets should get second chance opportunities here based on these numbers. Let's see. The Nets versus defensive rebounding, bottom 5, just 5 and 6 though. Come on, Nets. Just 5 and 6 against the number, against bottom 5 in defensive rebounding. So that's really nothing for us there. Raptors have been forcing some turnovers. Okay. Let's look at the Nets against the top 5 in first forced turnover rate, 6 and 7 against the spread. Nothing there. But the Nets have been struggling to protect the ball. They're 24th in turnover rate, so this worries me here. The Raptors have been forcing turnovers, and the Nets have been struggling to protect the basketball. Free throw rate, kind of a wash. Both these units pretty good. Where are the Nets shooting from? Look at this. The Nets just like completely switched their shit up. In the last 10 games, they're attacking the rim now. If you remember, the Nets were all jump shots for most of this season, and they still take a lot of them. 31% still come from above the break 3, but 33% of their shots coming at the basket in the last 10, which is huge because the Raptors are struggling to protect the rim. So let's see if there's anything. See, the trends for this one, the Nets are on the season are 3-6-3 against the spread. Oh, no, 7-6 against the spread against the bottom 5 rim frequency. Let's look at efficiency. The reason that I'm not concerned with these numbers is the Nets offense was completely different earlier in the season. So it wouldn't make sense to look at how they performed against certain rim protection teams earlier. All the stats are kind of like that in a way. But so I like that for the Nets. Let's go with Nets offense at rim. Toronto, bad defense. There you go. We know what we mean. The Nets have been attacking the basket. Toronto struggles to protect the basket. So another angle for the Nets. Let's go on the other side here. Toronto offensively, I mean, it's ugly. Remember what we were just saying about, the Raptors might force turnovers on the Nets here. Well, you could say the same thing on the other side. The Nets have been forcing some turnovers, and Toronto can't protect the basketball. So that cancels out. I'm glad I didn't write that one down because it would cancel out on the other side. The Nets usually get cleaned up on the offensive glass. Probably not going to happen here. Let's see the Nets against bad offensive rebounding teams. Go over to the offensive side. And let's go up to rebounding. Offensive rebounding. Nets 6-5 against the spread against the bottom 5 in offensive rebounding. Nothing really. But it's nice to know they're above 500 against those types of teams. Also, offensive turnover rate. Nets against teams that don't turn the ball over. Let's look at that. Oh, I don't like that. Just 5-8 against the spread against the bottom 5 in turnover rate. Don't like that. All right, and then we get to the shot zones, and damn it, Nets. I mean, the Raptors have been attacking the rim. In fact, it looks almost identical to Brooklyn. 33% of the Raptors shot attempts come at the rim, and the Nets struggling to protect the basket all of a sudden. God damn it, Nets. All right, let's check something out here. Let's see if I have a Raptors one made. Raptors. Here we go. Okay, so let's look at the Raptors against bottom 5 rim frequencies. Raptors. So let's scroll down to rim frequency. Okay, they're just 7-9 against the spread. That's good. And let's go rim efficiency. Just 4-8 against the spread. All right, good. All right, so I don't like this here. In fact, I'll write it down for the Raptors. Nets struggling defense at rim. Because it is an angle for the Raptors, but it's nice to see that the Raptors haven't been covering against these types of teams. So that was a little bit reassuring if we're leaning Nets. Let's look at transition numbers here because we know the Raptors run a lot of it. Raptors do not let you get out in transition. They're 5th in frequency defensively there. But the Nets aren't trying to run the fast break, so nothing there. And on the other side, this might be a problem. the Raptors run a ton of fast breaks. Nets defense has been struggling. Now, they've been better because they were back in like the mid-20s a couple months back. So the Nets have been better defensively in transition, but Raptors should be able to score on the fast break. But as we just looked before, check this out. The Nets are 6-3 against the spread against top 5 teams in fast break frequency. So I don't even know if I could put that because the Nets have covered against those types of teams. Real quick, let's just look to see if we're missing anything in top 5, last 10. Nah. Nope. Yeah, we know that the Nets rim frequency on the season, they're 19th, the last 10 4th. That's been crazy. The Nets just attacking the rim. Whoa, why did we not point this out? Did I miss it? Oh, because we used last 10. Okay, so this is why we do this last step. So we used last 10. And we saw, like, hey, the Raptors aren't playing. They're playing average defense against a three-point shot. Look at the last 5. Raptors are 5th and 6th against the above the break 3, and the Nets shoot from there. Damn, that is not good. What is the Nets defense versus bad three-point defenses? I got that here somewhere. Oh, I mean, no, I'm sorry. That's against good. That's against bad three-point defenses. The Nets against top 5 good three-point defenses, 3-7-1 against the spread. Damn it. And I know you're saying, well, the Raptors aren't a top 5 three-point defense. No, they're not. But look, right now in the last 5 games, they have been. So that's going to make this one a pass. Here are the final things here. Both teams are shit. Toronto 3-9 against the spread in their last 12. 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 at home. Brooklyn 2-7 against the spread in their last 9. 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 on the road. Just trash on both sides. Some really nice angles for the Nets. The Nets are 8-2 against the spread against the top 5 teams in pace. Raptors are second. The Nets are also 6-3 against the spread against top 5 teams in fast break frequency. Also, the Raptors, they're second in that as well. Also, the Nets have been attacking the rim a lot recently, the weakness of the Raptors defense. But what's keeping me from placing this bet, on the other side, the Nets are struggling to protect the basket, which is where the Raptors take all their shots. And the Raptors have been playing good defense against the three-point shot, which is a big part of the Nets' offense. Brooklyn just 3-7-1 against the spread against top 5 three-point defenses. So I guess this will be Nets or pass for me. Yeah. Appreciate it, man. So, yeah, this will be a Nets or pass for me. Well, I mean, so it's like kind of taking long on these crap games. I don't think I'm just showing you this is how I do it. So I'm a pretty thorough guy when it comes to this kind of shit. Pistons Knicks. Oh man, another crap game. I'll try to speed it up a little bit, but I don't want to like mess my process up. I don't like feeling like I missed something. I mean, this is my money here. So I actually bet this stuff. This isn't like for my YouTube shows, for my money. So let's go up. Detroit. Pistons, Knicks. And I actually did, this is the one I did as a sample last night in the Discord. So I think we should be able to go through this one a little quicker. Knicks. All right, let's clear the board. I already know. Actually, this one is a solid handicap for the Pistons. Watch, hold on. Let's get these up here. So we got Pistons, Knicks. Okay. So first up, injuries, and the Detroit injury report actually, it looks like I thought these guys might have been Durant, Fontecchio, Grimes. I thought these guys might have been shut down for the season. They're listed as questionable here. Let me refresh the page to see. Yeah, they're listed as questionable here on RotoWire. So maybe they play. Who knows? But on the Knicks side, no Anunoby still. And obviously Randall, Mitchell Robinson's still out. I heard Mitchell Robinson has been practicing, though. So I think his return is on the horizon for the Knicks. But you know what? Let me take a piss real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right now, the way I've been doing, I've been going through and like trying to make sure, like, can you see what I'm doing here? How about here? So what I'll do this time is I'm just going to go through it the way I would normally do it, and maybe it'll be a little confusing at times, but all right. So first up, Knicks Pistons. Obviously, we know Knicks have been much better than the Pistons, and strength of schedule is no different either, 10th and 11th. Net efficiency 6-26. Offensively, Pistons 27th, Knicks 20th. So let's look at Knicks versus bad offenses. Knicks versus bottom 5 offenses, 8-4-1 against the spread, and we're off. Oh shit, I forgot to do trends. There we go. All right. Let's look at the trends first to make sure we're not missing anything. Knicks ATS since March 1st. Looks like Knicks are 3-1 against the spread in their last 4. 6-4 against the spread in their last 10. So Knicks are solid. Pretty even money there. Pistons ATS since March 1st. That's why. Pistons are 6-7 in their last 13 against the number, but they're 1-3 in their last 5. Yeah, Pistons. Let's see Pistons ATS on the road. On road. Pistons 1-2 in their last on the road. In the last 3 on the road. 3-3. So Knicks ATS at home since February 15th. Knicks are 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 at home, but they're 3-1 in their last 4. So not writing it down. As far as the spot for these two teams, Detroit on a back-to-back. Detroit played yesterday against the Pelicans, so let's look at Detroit on 0 days rest. Detroit 6-6 against the spread, so we'll write it. Detroit on back-to-back, 6-6 against the spread on the season. The Pistons are, so they've been okay on these back-to-backs, but we'll still write it down because it's something. All right, now let's go to the spreadsheet. We just covered that the Knicks are 8-4-1 against the spread against bottom 5 offenses, so a solid start for the Knicks. We got this pace discrepancy here, and this is where, check this angle out we found for the Pistons last night. So the Knicks, first we got to look at the Knicks versus top 5 in pace because the Pistons are running fast. This is solid. Knicks 7-5 against the spread against the top 5 in pace. So that's thumbs up for the Knicks. But look at the Pistons against the bottom 5 in pace. 11-2 against the spread. The Knicks are 30th. They run the slowest pace in the league. So this is actually a huge angle for the Pistons. Detroit 11-2 against the spread versus bottom 5 in pace. And the Knicks, no team in the NBA runs a slower pace than the Knicks. So that's a tough one right there. Because, like, obviously, like, yo, Knicks at home against the Pistons on a back-to-back. Like, how do you not just hammer that? But it's a real tough one. That's a tough one to swallow if you're looking at the Knicks here. So that's, you know what? I'm going to put asterisks next to that. 11-2 is serious work. So, all right. Next up, let's keep moving down the line here. I'm going to move a little bit faster. So obviously we know Knicks defense has a huge edge over the Pistons offense. It's not close. Pistons cannot protect the basketball. Dead last in turnover rate. So why don't we look at the Knicks against teams that turn the ball over? Knicks against turnover rate. Wow. Knicks just 4-7-1 against the spread against teams that turn the ball over. So come on, Knicks. Can't cover the number against. All right, we'll keep it moving. Pistons have again to the free throw line. Third in free throw rate in the last 10 games. Knicks against offenses that get to the free throw line. 7, or can you see that? Yeah, right here. 7, 8, and 1 against the spread. So really nothing there. All right. Move down to where the shots are coming from. Pistons take a lot of these shots here, these short mid-range, but the Knicks have been playing great defense against that shot. The Knicks have also been locking down the three-point shot. Pistons have no three-point shooting. So really not much here as far as where the points are coming from for the Pistons, but there are a couple angles there for Detroit. Now on the other side, the big battle here is going to be on the glass. Knicks offensive rebounding versus Pistons defensive rebounding. Let's look at some trends. Knicks versus the top 5 teams in defensive rebounding. So I'm on the Knicks. Defensive rebounding. Knicks just 3-6 against the spread. Yo. NYK 3 and. Whoa. NYK 3-6 against the spread versus top 5 defensive rebounding teams, which describes the Detroit Pistons. All right, and now let's look at Pistons versus the top 5 of offensive rebounding, because we got to look at the inverse. Pistons versus the top 5 offensive rebounding, 6-4. Yo, I'm telling you, like, this looks like a favorable spot for the Pistons. Can I actually do it? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know if I can bet the Pistons right now, but there's no way I can bet the Knicks now after looking at some of this. Let's keep it moving, though. All right. Knicks offense, they're pretty balanced. Short mid-range shot. The Pistons are okay there. The Knicks had been taking a lot of threes, but in the last 10 games, looks like that's settled up. They're 15th. They're taking 30% of their shots out there. They're not really hitting them. Yeah, I mean, well, we're good to move on to the next one. It's Pistons or pass for me. In fact, I might even bet Detroit. It's the Knicks defense have been playing so well that and the Pistons offense is that bad, but there's too many angles here. So I'll say Pistons or pass for now. Let's move on to the next one. So what's the next game? Boston, Atlanta. And if you're on in like, oh, another bad, most of the games tonight are bad. So Celtics minus 10.5. Hawks plus 10.5. Pass. Where the heck's my... Oh, there it is. Okay. Polls running. Let's clear the board here. I mean, for this one, it's like, can you really step in front of the Celtics? Probably not, right? We'll look real quick, but this will be a quick one because the Celtics are playing at such a level where the handicap is very simple as like, do you want to try to catch a falling knife? But we'll take a quick look to see if there's anything we love for the Hawks here. But I mean, we are talking about laying double-digit points on the road. So, I mean, that is something we should at least take a look. All right, Celtics, Hawks. All right, let's start with injuries. All right, Boston, Atlanta up here. No Jalen Johnson still, no Okongwu, no Trae Young, no AJ Griffin. So the Hawks are still banged up as they have been. No Holiday for the Celtics. Derek White and Tillman both questionable. But if the Celtics have shown us anything in the last few weeks, it doesn't matter. Brown could be out, Porzingis out. And I mean, the Celtics just beat the Bulls by like 10 or 11 points in Chicago without Brown and Porzingis and Holiday, I think it was. So the Celtics team is so complete. It's tough. So I don't know if the injuries really should move the needle much for us here. Obviously, we know this is just Again, what we can keep pointing out for the Celtics is right here, strength of schedule, 27th in the last 10 games. So they haven't really played anybody. Not that the Hawks have played a strong schedule, though. And if you look at just net efficiency, we're talking about 1st to 12th in the last 10 games. So maybe the gap isn't quite as big as we think. Now, let's look at the Hawks. Let's get the Hawks up. Probably should have done this a second ago. I want the Hawks against top 5 offenses and the Hawks against top 5 defenses. That'd be that would be what I'm interested in. Hawks against top 5 offenses, 4-7 against the spread. So we know the Hawks, most of their trends are going to be ugly. It's not a secret. Hawks against top 5 defenses, 6-7, so not quite as bad. But yeah, the Hawks also have bad records against the spread against bad defenses as well. The Hawks has just been overvalued all year. Pace, both these teams run on a slow pace. So let's see, Hawks versus slow paces. 3-8 against the spread against the Hawks. The Hawks just can't cover errors anyone. Look at the record against the spread against top fast paces, 3-7. It's not like it's any better. Man, what a rough season for the Hawks, huh? Let's go pull up the Celtics. I feel like we might get more from the Celtics side because the Hawks are so, like, they're all going to be red. So let's try to figure out what the Celtics have struggled. I feel like would be a more profitable endeavor here. So slow pace. The Hawks have been running a slow pace. So let's see how the Celtics have done against slow pace teams. Just 5-6-1. You can see the Celtics have been slightly more profitable against fast pace. I mean, that's not really anything. What else do the Hawks do well? Here's the problem. The Hawks are pretty balanced. They're like in between 9 and 24 and everything. I like to look at again. Okay, here we go. Hawks defense fouls a lot. So let's see the Celtics against defenses that are towards the back in free throw rate. Celtics just 6-7 against the spread against bottom 5 free throw rate. I mean, again, we're reaching here. As we know, Celtics take a ton of these shots, and actually the Hawks are 9th in efficiency against that shot, but 26 at frequency, so they allow a lot of attempts. I honestly don't even want to look at this game anymore. I'm sorry if you're like really looking for. I really don't. I'm losing interest in this. Hawks take a lot of mid-range shots. I don't know. I guess Celtics are past. Let's move on to the next one. I really don't have interest in that. Come on, dude. Wizards, Bulls. Can I get a break? Can we do something interesting? Wizards, Bulls. Wizards plus 12.5. Like, we're talking about laying 12.5 points with the Bulls. Jesus. This is just brutal. All right. You know what? Let's just skip to a good game because it's almost 11:30 and I don't want to be sitting on here all day. So let's just skip to a good game. Okay, Philly, Sacramento. Let's do that one. And I do it so much faster, like when I don't have to explain what I'm doing. So for especially today, there's 11 games. A lot of them are shitty. This might not be the best day to do this. Tomorrow there's only 4 games, and I think a couple of them are good. So that'd be a good day to do this. I'll get better at it though. Okay, Sixers, Kings. Sixers, Kings. Sixers, Kings. Where's Sixers, Kings? I was just looking at 76ers. It should be. There we go. 76ers. And Kings. All right. So let's start with injuries. 76ers, Kings. Lowry probable. Melton might play. Covington might play. Yo, the Sixers actually somewhat healthy. No Embiid, obviously. That's a huge one for Philly because they've been playing without those guys forever. All right. Let's move on to trends. Let's just look at the Kings trends because Sixers. Kings ATS since March 1st. Kings are 2-2 against the spread in their last 4, 3-3 in their last 6, 4-4 in their last 8. So the Kings are pretty much 500. Let's look at home. Kings at home, bad. Kings are 2-7 against the number in their last 9 at home. Let's draw it back. 3-8 against the spread in their last 11 at home. So the Kings not covering at home. Real quick, we'll look at 76ers on the road. Sixers are 4-5 against the spread in their last 9 on the road. They've actually covered 2 in a row against the Clippers and Lakers. They covered both of those games. Yep. All right. So the spot, obviously we got Philadelphia on a back-to-back. They just played the Clippers. Let me scroll up so you can see it. They just played the Clippers yesterday. So we need to look at Philly on 0 days rest. Philadelphia 5-7 against the spread for Philly. So that'd be going the Kings side. Oh my God, I gotta get better with this click. Philly on a back-to-back on the season. They're 5-7 against the spread on back-to-backs. That's a start for the Kings. Let's get the sheet open. Last 10 games. All right. So, Kings obviously has been better than the Sixers, 4th to 19th. But look at strength of schedule, 7th to 24th in favor of Philadelphia. So, yeah, the Kings have been playing better basketball, but they've done so against a much easier schedule. So that's solid for Philly. Philly's offense towards the back, 28th, and the pace towards the back. So we need to look at how the Kings have done against these two things here. So the Kings against bad offenses. The Kings against bad offenses. What? That's right. I forgot about this. So the Kings 3-7 against the spread against bottom 5 offenses. So that goes on the Philly side. Sacramento 3-7 against the spread versus bottom 5 offenses. Okay. Now the Kings versus slow pace. 5-7. Okay, let's throw it on there. I mean, 5-7 isn't overwhelming, but Sacramento 5-7 against the spread versus bottom 5 pace. Okay, good start for the Sixers here. Let's keep it rolling. Oh, so let's look at the Sixers against good defenses because the Kings have been playing very good defense. So Sixers against top 5 defense. Oh man, 9-4. Philly 9-4 against the spread. This is, I think I might place Philly bet right now. Let's keep rolling, but this is a really good start to Philadelphia for the handicap. So thank you, Mark A. Kings are 1-7 at home after a win. And I'm assuming he said that because that's now. Let me open it up. Kings are coming off a win in Orlando. So, yeah, 1-7. Let's put it on the Philly side. Thank you, Mark A. Sacramento 1-7. I'm assuming you meant ATS. Mark A, if you want to specify that. You know what? I'm not going to put that on because I don't know Mark A. Maybe he's a psychopath. Good. Thanks for the information. I just don't know. Oh, he said yes. Okay. Mark says Sacramento 1-7. ATS at home off win. All right. I'll just put says so you guys know, like, that's coming from the comments. I'm sure that it's reliable information, but you never know. All right. So Sixers Kings. Let's look at Philly's offense. Now, obviously, we know this is where it's going to look great for the Kings. EFG 30th to 5th. Kings have great defensive rebounding numbers. Let's look at the Philly against great defensive rebounding numbers. It's Philly top 7-6 against the spread against top 5 defensive rebounding rate. So again, that doesn't really scare me. Philly is covered against these elite defensive rebounding teams. Kings foul a lot. So let's look at the Sixers against teams that foul a lot. Look at this. Philly against the bottom 5 in defensive free throw rate, 6-3 against the spread. I keep clicking the wrong thing here. I'm sorry. I promise I'll get really good at this. Philly 6-3 against the spread versus bottom 5 defensive free throw rate. If I find one more angle for Philly, I'm cutting this off and going bet the Sixers now. Like, this is pretty one-sided here. So let's look at the Kings in the bottom 5 offenses and free throw rate. Because Philly doesn't draw fouls. Just 5-5 for the Kings. So nothing there. Let's move on to the next one. Kings have been doing a pretty good job protecting the basket, which could come in handy here. Philly hasn't been reliant on attacking the rim. They're 14th, but it is part of their offense. Philly's been taking more threes. Kings have been playing solid defense. Kings have been playing really good defense, man. So we're probably betting the Sixers here, but keep in mind that this is not the best match. I mean, the Kings have been playing some defense. They played an easy schedule. On the other side, Kings offense. So Kings have not been attacking the basket. They've been doing these short mid-range shots here, but look at Philly. One of the best defenses in the league against that shot. So Philly's been weaker out on the perimeter, but the Kings haven't really been doing anything out there. Wow. So yeah, I'm betting Philly now. Where's my phone? Let me get the best price real quick. Whoa, what do you mean log out? Wow. Probably shouldn't do that. You guys can see my email. Probably should have blanked that out. Sorry. All right, so Sixers plus 9.5. Oh, looks like you can get -10s everywhere. Bet 365, -110. Doing it now. Come on. Bet 365 makes you verify your phone number with the text message every time you log in. Bet 365. Every single time you have to get the authentic. It's annoying as hell. All right, so here we go. Philly plus 6.5, plus 9.5. I'm sorry. I'm in, and now let me send it to the Discord so they have it. Sorry for the delay. There we go. There we go. All right, sent. All right, we're good. So let's move on to, I got time to do one more. Let's do one more game. Let's see what else we got here. Pacers Clippers isn't bad. Want to do Pacers Clippers? Let's do Pacers Clippers. Let's finish up with Pacers Clippers. And I promise moving forward, I think this is good content. And I think we should do this. Like, I'm down to do this more. And I'll get better at it. It's just maybe not on a 12-game NBA slate. With this many games, I probably should do it privately where I can go faster. Maybe on the smaller slates. But I think we should do this for baseball. I think this shit's fun, personally. Yeah, it sounds like... It sounds like most of the comments here are positive. I was assuming if someone pulls it up and doesn't like it, they would just click off. But People are nuts, and they'll sit there and watch something, complain about it the whole time. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's cool if you don't like it. Just you can leave. All right, so Pacers Clippers. Let's do one more. Now I know Pacers are obviously on a back-to-back. I got lucky last night because I had, as you guys know, I went 1-1 in my games, but I lost a few dollars because I had Oklahoma City. Damn it, this thing is skipping. That's going to drive me crazy. People are going to have a seizure. But all my leans lost. So I actually got lucky that only lose a few dollars because I was leaning towards Cleveland, lost. I was leaning towards Pacers. My leans lost as well. So I was actually considering myself lucky to only be down $60 or whatever it was. All right. The board is clear. Pacers, Clippers. Let's start with injuries. Pacers, Clippers, looking like a clean bill of health for the Pacers. Nobody on the report for Indiana as of right now. Look, we got Russ back. Russell Westbrook listed as probable. He's been out for a little while. Has he come back yet? Let's see. Yeah, he's returning today. So, yeah, this will be Westbrook's first game back, looks like. That's cool for the Clips. We'll put it on there. Not that Westbrook, moves the needle in any major way, but it's definitely worth adding to the list. Westbrook back. Plays point guard off the bench. All right, next, let's look at trends. Clippers, ATS at home since March 1. Clippers at home 0-4 in their last 4. So 4 losses against the number in a row. It's not good for the Clips. And they're just, let's say, since March 4th. Wow, okay, so that goes on the Pacers side. So Clips just 3-8 ATS last 11. Clips 0-4 ATS last 4 at home. So the Clippers have not been covering the number, and that goes on the Pacers side. Let me pause this thing in the back because this thing keeps skipping. I'm just going to pause the video so the logo stops spinning. That's going to drive me crazy. So that's solid on the Pacers side. The fact that the Clippers continue to be overpriced, right? They're not covering. Let's look at the spot. As we know, Indiana just played last night in L.A. Oh, it's not. All right. Oh, wait. So did the Clippers. What the hell am I talking about? So did the Clippers, but they played in the afternoon, so I guess a little better. But neither team had to travel. But let's look at both teams on no rest. What? Look at this. Want to know who the worst team in the NBA is on no rest? Your Indiana Pacers, 2-10 against the spread. Wow. Pacers 2-10 ATS on 0 days rest. So that is not a good look there for the Pacers. The Clippers are 5-7 against the spread on 0 days rest. You can see on this sheet here. So not good, but not as bad as that. So let's hit the spreadsheets. Also, let's get our trend finders open. We got where the hell? You got Pacers. Where's Clips? I got a Clips one here. Clips. And Clippers. All right, Pacers. All right, we're good. All right, so let's go through the spreadsheet for this game. Last 10. All right, so right off the bat, Pacers have been much better than the Clippers. In the last 10 games, the Pacers are 5th in net efficiency in the league. So this has been a top 5 team, raw data-wise. Clippers back at 17th. And look at the strength of schedule. Indiana's done it against a stronger schedule. So huge lean towards the Pacers just for the fact that they've been better than the Clippers, and they're catching 5.5 points. So right off the bat, we're leaning towards the Pacers. Huge pace discrepancy here. So let's look at some trends for that. You got Pacers who are first in pace in the last 10. Clippers who are 26th. So let's look at the Pacers against slow pace teams. 6-5-1 against the spread, against bottom 5 in pace. So, I mean, it's above 500, but it's not enough to really write it down. Clippers against fast paces, 7-5 against the spread, against top 5 in pace. So really nothing there. Both teams about even against the other one. So nothing to write down there. Clippers defense, absolute shit. 28th in overall defensive efficiency in the last 10 games. So why don't we look at the Pacers against bad defenses on the season? Wow, there you go. That is a fucking angle right there. Indiana, 11-4-1 against the spread against bottom 5 defenses this year. That one gets an asterisk. Pacers, 11-4-1 against the spread versus bottom 5 defenses. And that gets an asterisk. That's a solid one right there. Good find. All right. Let's keep it going. All right, so let's look at the matchup for the Pacers offense here. All right, so a couple things to check. So we got right here, Clippers don't force turnovers, and the Pacers don't turn the ball over. So that's a nice little matchup for the Pacers. Let's see if it has been translated into wins. Let's look at the Pacers against teams that don't force turnovers first. Pacers against the bottom 5 defenses in turnover rate, 13-4-1. Let's go, Pacers. Pacers, 13-4-1. ATS versus bottom 5 defensive turnover rate. Boom. Now let's look at Clippers against offenses that don't turn the ball over. Okay, so the Clippers are just 4-5, so not really an angle there. Pretty close to 500. Below 500 though, so it doesn't hurt our Pacers lean. So Clippers don't foul though. Clippers just 5th in defensive free throw rate. So let's look at Pacers against those teams. Defensive free throw rate, 6-8. Pacers are just 6-8 against the spread against the top 5 in defensive free throw rate. So, I mean, below 500, not great. All right, shooting. Oh, that's actually solid for the Clippers, though, because obviously we know the Clippers have been getting lit up, but mostly from 3. They're 28th against the above the break 3, 30th against the corner 3. But actually, their numbers at the basket aren't bad, which is huge in this matchup against the Pacers offense that attacks the rim a lot. So that's actually, if you were looking about the Clippers, that's actually not bad. Let's look at the Clippers against teams. Clippers, let me make sure. Yeah, I'm on the Clippers. So we got the Clippers against teams that attack the rim, though. Top 5 in frequency, which the Pacers are. 3-6 against the spread. What about efficiency? 6-7 against the spread against teams that are efficient at the rim. So it's on the Pacers side, even though they've been playing good Pacers. I mean, Clips 3-6 against the spread versus top 5 rim frequency offense. Another one for the Pacers side here. It's starting to become a one-sided handicap. Let's see if we can find something. Okay, so what about transition? We know that the Pacers run a lot of fast breaks. They're 3rd. So let's look at the Clippers against top 5 in fast break frequency. Clippers are actually 6-5 against the top 5 in fast break frequency. So, all right, something. If you're, why does it keep doing that? All right, so 6-5 against the top 5 in fast break frequency. That's not bad. What about the Pacers against teams in the bottom 5 of fast break efficiency? Against bottom 5, bam, 7-3. So what I just did there, Clippers 29th in points per possession allowed in transition. That's second to last. Pacers against bottom 5 in defensive transition efficiency, 7-3 against the spread. So another one on the Pacers side. Pacers 7-3 ATS versus bottom 5 defenses in transition. So another angle for the Pacers. I mean, let's look at the other side of the ball really quickly, but this is starting to look one-sided here. Oh, so huge right here. Okay, so we're on the. Oh no, this is the last 5 games. Let's look at the last 10. Keep it consistent. So last 10 games, we're looking at Clippers offense, and this is huge here. Clippers are getting to the free throw line. Pacers are fouling, so that is huge for the Clippers offense. And let's look, Clippers versus bottom 5 defenses in free throw rate. I would imagine this trend, they're good against these types of defenses. Let me get there. 3 and 5. Yo, the Clippers are trash, man. Clippers are just 3 and 5 against the spread against bottom 5 defenses in free throw rate. So Doesn't scare me off my Pacers bet, that's for sure. Where the Clippers been shooting from, taking a lot of mid-range. And the Pacers play great defense. Say no more. I'm on the Pacers. On the Pacers. Looks like I can get a 6 minus 110. I don't have an Bovada account. I need to get one. They asked for a passport. I don't even know where my passport is. DraftKings has a minus 112 6. I'm going to take that. This is, by the way, if you're wondering, this is unabated, by the way. That's the website I use to odd shop. I'm not affiliated with them. They didn't pay me to say that. That's me telling you which site I use. All right, so let's go to the Pacers. Plus 6, minus 112 on DraftKings. Come on, DraftKings. Let's go. I got people watching. I'm in. Now let me post it to the Discord so they have it. Okay, posted. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna cut it off there. I'll get better with this. And tomorrow there's only 4 games, so I could probably come back in the morning tomorrow and run through the 4, and I'll have the screen looking a little better. I feel like this looks like shit, but I'll have everything running a bit smoother. But thanks everyone for watching. I didn't realize there was such a market for this kind of content, or else I would have been doing this the whole time. I thought people found this boring. Turns out there's a lot of people interested in this kind of stuff, so I'm definitely down to do it. Everyone, I'll be back at 4 p.m. We got Matt Modi and Prop Beaver, so we'll make some final decisions. There's obviously, we skipped a bunch of games that I will look at in the next few hours and be prepared to maybe add some bets to this. So let's have ourselves a good one. And yeah, see you in a few hours.